Hello,
Yo.
we are back and we are married. Woohoo! Yay, we did it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you too.
Thank you.
Thank God it all worked out.
It's done. It's complete.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And it was perfect. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was such a beautiful wedding. People were raving about it. They loved it. They loved the vows. They were like, you guys killed me with the vows. Why'd you have to do that?
Yeah, I heard that too a couple times actually.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know. I guess they were that good.
They were pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, it was gorgeous. Like, we really didn't give super like detailed instructions for our coordinators with like decorating and everything, but it was literally exactly what we imagined, and we didn't even know it.
They did such a good job. It's like incredible.
Yeah,
like,
it was so pretty.
I mean, granted, like that's the kind of stuff they're used to doing, you know, like,
right?
And I'm pretty sure they appreciated the creative freedom we gave them.
They I'm sure they had fun with it, but
yeah,
it was beautiful.
They killed it. Mm-hmm.
A little spooky, but just like in a classy way.
Very classy. I really like that it took because we would talk about like we would say it was like vintage
gothic.
Vintage
was
gothic.
Our vibe.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of was, but also just like in a classy way kind of thing. It was
still very elegant and wedding-y, you know.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm still like I like on my quiet times, I think about our wedding day. Yeah.
It was
like
awesome.
I can't stop looking at the photos. Our photographer sent us a sneak peek.
Oh yeah, a sneak peek of like 30 photos from it,
which was awesome. It made me even more excited to get like the rest
so
back.
Excited to see all the pictures. Well, I'm sure we'll be posting like something on the Instagram so you guys can see. But yeah, it was a great day. All a blur, of course. But then literally the next day we left to go on our honeymoon.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, we went.
Very long trip.
Very long. We went to York, England for 4 days. And then we went to Edinburgh, which like the travel days was like 2 days basically with the time change.
Right.
And then we took a train from there to Edinburgh and spent 5 days there.
Yes.
And it was all amazing and beautiful.
I loved it.
Gorgeous.
I love Edinburgh. I had no idea what to expect from this trip in general because it was kind of, I keep telling people because they were like, why the UK? And I was like, honestly, it was one of those like close your eyes, throw the dart on the map, and wherever it lands, we'll go. Because that's kind of how like we didn't have a desire to go anywhere.
Right. We like thought about like Banff, but then we were thinking of like spooky times, and so it was actually Marlene's idea, like for like I think England. And then I was like, if we're going to the UK, we have to go to Edinburgh because that's like supposedly one of the most haunted places in the world. So I had to.
It was really beautiful.
It was amazing.
I loved it. It was like I've seen old things before, like in Mexico, but this was a different kind of old. Yeah. Like this is like it had just old Viking and Roman.
Yeah, all kinds of like history.
Yeah, I've never seen like real Viking things like in a, you know.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And it's set in its proper setting of like, because I think Vikings is like Iceland, Greenland.
Sounds right.
But I've never actually seen like things like that. It was awesome.
It was really cool. Yeah,
I loved it.
Of course, our last day in York though, we did both come down with like just a super weird, hardcore cold out of nowhere. And then it just went away. Thank God, because the next day we were traveling to Edinburgh.
On train.
We were barely like, I mean, we were better, but still like not 100%.
Right.
But luckily it was just like a travel day and we just kind of hung out in the hotel room for the rest of that day.
Yeah, it was the last day in York. We were like, well, we kind of saw everything. We can kind of chill.
It was small at least, so we felt satisfied. Thank God we were like well enough to then enjoy Scotland. Yeah, but we just had this like cough that was there, like mine especially is still here. You'll be hearing it throughout the episode. And breathing was a little difficult because I didn't realize how hilly Edinburgh was.
And like we were out of breath because we were sick. So it made
the cold air too.
The cold air felt so good.
It felt good, but it makes it harder for me to breathe.
It makes it easier for me.
Oh,
to breathe.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it gets into my pipes and freezes them up.
No, not me. I'm the opposite.
But it was fine. I still had a blast. We went into the Scottish Highlands one of the days and
went to Loch Ness.
We saw Loch Ness. We found Nessie. She's great. You guys would love her.
She's very sweet.
But yeah,
we did the underground vaults too.
Oh yeah, we did the vaults under there. If you didn't know, there's like a whole story there where merchants back in the day used to keep their dry goods there, but then things got too wet and so they got molded, and then so they just got like abandoned, and then they've been used for like so many things throughout the years. But supposedly they're haunted, and we did get some spooky vibes down there.
I saw something down there.
Yeah,
it was really creepy.
Oh, and then we did a tour, just like a haunted tour throughout the city, which ended up at a graveyard, which was like one of our favorite places.
Oh my
God,
Ross, our tour guide, the best tour guide.
10 out of 10 stars.
10 out of 10.
I've never seen so much like effort put into a tour.
I loved him. He was like on it. He factual to an extent, because we took so many tours. We learned so much about Edinburgh that we were like correcting the tour guides under our breath to each other. Well, and they would be like 4 years, and we'd be like 7 years.
Yeah, we were like, well, what should we believe? Which one is like the right story? You know, there was like different takes on the same story. But no, he was great. And then after the tour, we because we ended in the cemetery, and we had gone there but only in the day before that, so we're like, we saw people walking around it, and we're like, is this like open? And he was like, yeah, it's like 24 hours, you can walk around. And then we were just chatting with him and this like other couple, and then I think like Ed and Lorraine came up and like Annabelle.
Oh yeah, because we told them that we stayed at the Conjuring house because we were talking about spooky stuff, and we were like, well, actually,
And so Annabelle came up, and he's like, well, I mean, we've got a collection of haunted dolls here in like the building.
Do you guys have time?
Do you want? Yeah, how much time do you have? You want to see it? And we were like, yes. I guess. Yeah. What the heck? So that was really cool. But at the end of our tour, when we were in like the most haunted part of the cemetery, something happened to you. That was spooky.
I'm sorry, I'm drinking my sparkling water.
That's allowed. It's okay.
Where my elbow was touched?
Your elbow was touched.
I was touched, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the back, so we went inside one of the what do you call them?
It was like, so what it was basically this prison that back, like, I don't know when, like a few hundred years ago, like prisoners were kept, and I think it's just because of their like religion, and so they became prisoners and they were kept there.
It was part of the time where the Catholic Christian Church was trying to
like Covenanters.
They were trying to keep everyone Christian,
so
Catholic.
It was like a cell there on the cemetery, but it was also kind of like a vault in itself, because it was like a dome ceiling to it.
Ceiling covered, and the whole hype in that part of the cemetery is that there's a poltergeist there,
because he was like the one that sent the people there, and then when he died, the townspeople,
they were pissed at him.
They didn't like him for what he did, so they buried him there where the prison was.
So according to legend, he's a poltergeist there now, and we walked into that vault, and I was in the very back because I kind of did want to experience something. I did open myself up to that. I was just like, just don't attach to us. Like, you're not allowed.
That's always our rule.
Yeah. And so this guy was like on my left side, kind of almost behind me. And because there was a pretty big group of us,
probably like 30 people.
Yeah, we weren't cramped, but we were
by each other.
We were close in proximities to each other. And I thought it was the guy that was next to me that was like kind of maybe too close to me or something. So when I kind of sort of glanced in the low light that was there, because someone had a flashlight. I think it was Ross, the tour guide, had a flashlight on. So it was really just the outer glow of the flashlight that I was kind of able to see. And this guy was like against the wall. And I was like, okay, he did not touch me.
Right.
Like,
and the way you described it, like you did it on me, it felt like a caress, not like someone just like bumping up against you.
Yeah, so I had a EVP,
EMF detector.
An EMF detector on one hand and my phone on the other. And on my left hand, I had the EMF detector, which is on my elbow. I kind of felt like someone grabbed my elbow, but in like a very soft way.
like a way that you would like pick up like some trail mix in your fingers.
Yeah,
and just like grasp it.
Right.
Yeah,
like kind of coning your hand.
Right, which is interesting.
Your hand to an elbow.
You felt that, but when you had the EMF, it didn't like go off at all. But then I held it, and it didn't go off a lot, but it did go up to like the next light twice when I held it, but I didn't feel anything.
And we tested it because I was like, is this thing like not working?
Right. It wasn't like going off at all, really.
At all. But I felt something, but yeah, I like used it next to my phone to see if it's like capturing like electromagnetic fucking waves or whatever, and it worked. It was working, but for some reason it just wasn't.
When I saw it go off, like I had it up more, and then I saw it go again, but I noticed a girl's purse was right there, which was like lower, and so I moved it closer to her purse again, and it would go off, and I'm like, okay, well this time it was like her phone,
right?
But then I brought it up to where I saw it go off and moved it like closer to her, and it wasn't going off. It wasn't, yeah. So it like is working, and
it is working.
But yeah, so that was,
which I hope is fine,
cool.
Because not to fast forward our whole trip or anything, but all my equipment, our equipment is I left it in our suitcase, which is not in our possession right now.
Nope.
We our connecting flight from Edinburgh to London. We got there late because for some reason the back stairs.
Yeah, they couldn't
close it.
Yeah, when you like load into the front or the back of the plane with those outside stairs, they couldn't like get it off of our plane. So that didn't like make me feel great for the remainder of the flight.
Luckily it was just an hour-long flight, so I was like, okay, it's from like Burbank to Phoenix, not even
like Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. But I was like, well, at least we're on land and maybe there's an airport in between. I was just trying to, you know, and luckily my book kind of put me to sleep too, so I was kind of sort of knocked out there for a second.
Nice.
But yeah, so our suitcases didn't make it to our flight from London to Nashville.
We barely made it onto that flight. But
holy crap, we ran. I have not ran that
we landed in the terminal that our next flight was in, but we still had to take a train to get to our gate.
To a tunnel.
I don't understand that airport.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the fact that we were able to figure it out that quickly.
Yeah, we were
running and reading.
I even spotted signs. I was like, oh, wait, babe, it's this way.
Yeah.
I don't know how I saw it. I didn't have the glasses on, but we made it happen.
We made it like with barely 2 minutes to spare. Like we barely made it. And I don't know how it happened. Yeah,
which is like annoying because then we did sit on the tarmac there for like 30-40 minutes.
And I thought that it was because they were loading the extra.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I thought. But the extra bags.
It's just that stupid rule. It's like, well, no, once the doors close, they're closed. Doesn't matter if the plane's still here for an hour. Like, you can't get on.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think they use that time to check their controls and like all that stuff.
I know, but like, if they're doing that anyways, just let the person on the plane.
I get it.
I'm sure there's like regulations and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm sure the flight attendants still have to, because they get on before we get on. Yeah. So I'm sure they still have to fix things and, you know, check up on everyone. It's a big plane too.
I was out of breath, man. I could not breathe. Like I said, we had this like chest situation and we were running up escalators, and that I don't do that.
That was crazy. Oh my God. That was crazy. I can't believe. But we made it home safe and sound, yes, married in one piece.
We're back with our kit boys.
Yeah, back to work tomorrow, but it's not that bad. I have a lot to do. I have a lot to take care of, but
me too. So
I'm looking forward to working and getting money.
Yeah, the money part's nice. But
yeah.
Oh, and before I forget, okay, 2 things. First of all, welcome to our first Halloween episode, you guys. Yeah. How exciting. It's not anything like super special, but we're going to get a little like Halloween vibes going on. And secondly, happy almost birthday to Marlene. Yay. She's old. She's going to be 29. Today's Sunday. She will be 29 on Tuesday.
So 29 on the 29th.
Yep, her golden birthday. So it is almost here, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to celebrate you. So this is our Halloween / Marlene's birthday episode. Welcome.
Yay.
So on that note, do we want to send it on over to you for your not so fun fact?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Not so fun facts with marbles. So, on like the honeymoon note kind of thing, on one of our first days in New York, we went to this little kid museum sort of thing, which is super cool because just fun fact before the not so fun fact.
Yeah.
We found out that if you buy an entrance, day entrance, you get to go for the rest of the year.
That's like a thing with like other things there too.
Yeah.
We went to like some other place and they're like, all right, well, you can come in any day from now. Oh, it was the church, the York Minster.
Oh, yes.
They're like, yeah, feel free to come in any day after this for the next year.
Yeah.
That's like a season pass right there.
Yeah, you buy one day, you get to go for free for the next year.
Which is like also just a lot of museums in the UK are free. Like especially in Edinburgh. Like that's so cool.
We do have museums like that, but
oh yeah?
But yeah, I think you still have to kind of look for them. Like back home, the Getty is free. You just have to pay for parking. So it's just kind of things like that.
Right. Anyways.
But yes, so in that little kid museum, it was really fun, really cool. They had like dinosaur bones and all the stuff. We walked through a Roman Empire era and the influence of the Roman Empire in York, which I thought was really cool. And around the whole museum, they had little fun facts of whatever exhibit part you were in the museum. And so I want to use one of those facts for my fact this week.
Alrighty.
And it has to do with the type of sponge that SpongeBob is.
What?
So SpongeBob is a sea sponge.
Wait, how did we get from Roman Empire to
So
this?
listen to me.
I cannot wait.
So SpongeBob is a regular old sea sponge.
Okay.
You know? Some people use them literally to wash themselves with.
Okay.
But this sort of sea sponge, the Romans back in the day used a sea sponge on a stick to wipe their butts. And they would, not in their home, not in the privacy of their home. This was a public bathroom.
Oh my god.
And they would put a sponge on the end of a stick, wipe their butts, wash it, and then leave it there for the next person to use it. Imagine using the same used toilet paper, like a toilet towel, let's say. Right. Now we would use a towel. So you just freaking wipe your butt after pooping, and then you wash it. You wash it off, wash your poop stains, and then you leave it back there for the next stranger to use for their butt poop.
Wow.
Isn't that gross?
I mean, sometimes I don't know. It brings out a sense of community to me.
Sometimes they would use plain water, and other times they would use vinegar. I don't know if there's like a cleaning... If it's a cleaning property, like...
Is vinegar supposed to go down there?
I have no idea. Would it sting? Probably. I don't know. But
gross.
Yeah, they were often shared, and that's a Roman toilet paper for you. It's not great, not a fun fact.
No, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's really gross.
It is. Times were different back then, and I'm glad they're very different now.
Yeah, whether they would have washed their hands or not after that is a whole different story, but...
Oh my gosh. Dang.
Yeah, that's my fun fact.
Thank you for that. How pleasant.
I'm sorry it's not spooky for the Halloween episode.
No, it's fine. It's related to our honeymoon, because I thought about trying to do something like related to our honeymoon and like festive, but there just wasn't anything like resonating. But then I found like a nice little topic that I like, and I think it's fitting.
Okay.
Should we get into our Halloween episode now?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Does it have to do with pilgrims?
No.
Oh.
Pilgrims. That's Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, pilgrims.
Okay, so for our very first Halloween episode.
Yay!
Yay! I am going to be covering black cats.
Oh, okay.
I was literally sitting there on the couch today, actually, and I was like, I don't know what to do for this episode. What are we going to do?
And then you glanced over at Binx.
No, well, we made some comment about like Arlo or something, or black and white cat. And then it just like popped into my head.
Oh, okay, like, yeah. That's it. I would love to learn about.
I like to draw inspiration from my surroundings.
From the surroundings. What surrounds the surroundings.
Exactly.
And the saran wrap.
So I'm going to be covering black cats and why they are associated with Halloween and why they are thought to be so unlucky.
Poor cats.
I know, that's why I have one. I was like, we need to give them all the love.
He's the sweetest.
He's the best cat ever. The heck?
From Johnston Street.
So,
excuse me, sorry.
This actually goes back like very, very far. In Greek mythology, cats do come up, specifically with Hecate, the goddess of magic, sorcery, the moon, and witchcraft.
Huh.
Excuse me. She was said to have a cat as both a pet and a familiar. And if you don't know, according to European folklore, a familiar is a supernatural creature that assists a witch. Also, written records link black cats to the occult as far back as the 13th century.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. When we were in the vaults back in Edinburgh, there was a Wiccan temple down there, and it was kind of low-key, kind of cool. Cool. I've never really seen one before.
Right.
But
because it was like legit, like there was this group of Wiccas that asked to use one of the vaults like for their temple, and they were like, well, yeah, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And actually interesting, they started in one vault and the energy there was so dark to them that they begged to be placed in another vault.
It's because contrary to popular beliefs, the Wiccan religion is not it's not negative.
It's not scary.
It's not scary. And
like
and he
a
made
lot of positivity to it.
The tour guide made a really good point that the Wiccans and Satanists are two completely different things, and it has to do with
like Satanists actually aren't really even that bad.
The way that right, I mean, it's all essentially the same thing. Just be nice to each other. Yeah, that's what they believe,
and like
just be nice to
earth
everything
and connection to it and all that.
But one of the signs of like the to like distinguish the Satanists and Wiccans was the way that their
the pentagram.
The pentagram is
if it's upside down.
You're right, yeah. Because there was a girl there that was really like negative against it. Yeah, and I was like, dude, like,
yeah,
that's kind of messed up. Like, you first of all, you don't understand it, and you're shitting on it.
And she was like saying how she was like, you guys should like seriously get rid of that, like as if this guy had any say.
Well, besides that, I just want to make that point that people who don't understand things will shit on what they don't understand because they're either afraid of it or they lack proper knowledge.
Right. And the guy was literally explaining to her, he was like, well, yes, like normally that it would be bad, but since it is right side up, and she's like, but it wasn't. And it's like, I think he does know what he's talking about with it. Right. Maybe the way you were looking at it, like, right, you know, like we were looking at it through bars.
Right. But back to my point.
Sorry.
If you don't like something, question yourself why you don't like it. Is it because you genuinely don't like it? And if you don't like it, why do you not like it? Like, right. Do you completely understand what you're hating on? Like what you're shitting on? Like, don't be a prick just because you're afraid of something or you don't understand it. That's just my take on life in general. Let's just be nice to each other. Yeah. And understand everybody. Yeah. And where we all come from. And then we can have a conversation about it. Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, sorry. Cats.
Okay. Cats. Yes. So, as far back as the 13th century, they were linked to the occult, black cats. And on June 13th, 1233, Pope Gregory IX issued an official church document called Vox in Rama that declared black cats as an incarnation of Satan.
Oh my God.
This decree marked the beginning of the Inquisition and church-sanctioned witch hunts.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in addition to their association with Satan, cats also became linked to witches in medieval Europe. According to Sarah Falling Star, a Wiccan priestess.
That is a cool name.
I'm sure she picked it, but it is very cool and like fitting. But according to her, the early Christian church in Europe actually coexisted with witches, but as the church gained power, they saw witches as their direct competition in gaining the hearts and minds of the people.
Wow.
So according to Falling Star, witches honored the natural world, having deep respect for plants and animals. Affection between human and animal therefore began to be seen as diabolical or devilish, and the old lady with her cats became seen as suspect.
Because she was respecting and honoring her surroundings, as we were just literally talking about.
Yep.
The surroundings, and being kind to other species.
How dare she?
How dare she?
So, I guess the early Christians weren't only afraid of the connection between witches and cats, but they also saw them both as threats. Falling Star also noted that, quote, cats, like the women accused of witchcraft, tend to exhibit a healthy disrespect of authority. They don't fawn, like dogs, upon even the unworthy. In the church, neither independent women nor independent animals were to be tolerated.
Huh. Okay.
Interesting. So eventually, this fear surrounding black cats did make its way over to the Americas, thanks to the Puritan colonists, of course.
Of course.
Naturally.
Which, I mean, we can get into the Puritans another day, because I can keep going on and on.
I know you can.
Because, like, were the Puritans really that good? You know?
I don't think they were that pure at all.
Yeah. Who knows?
Anyway. So, super sad, but during the Middle Ages, it wasn't uncommon for cats to be killed due to their association with evil. They would also be killed because people blamed them for spreading the bubonic plague. But ironically, the people getting rid of the cats actually helped spread the plague more because there were no cats around to help control the rodent population, which was spreading the plague. So they just made it worse. Way to go, people.
Nice going.
Boo, you stink.
Nice going, pilgrims.
It wasn't the pilgrims. Oh. It was like medieval times. So let's talk about the actual superstition of black cats.
And how it got started?
Of it like being unlucky for a black cat to cross your path.
Okay, yeah.
So since these cats were thought to be familiars of witches, it was very likely that these cats were on like an evil mission for the witches.
That's so sad.
And also they were even thought to be the witches themselves in disguise, or even the devil. And no one wants to cross paths with the devil. It is also recorded that many peasants of the day would run to the nearest church if they crossed paths with a black cat and pay the priest to bless them and rid them of any curse that might have been laid by the cat. So since this was a source of income for the church, this fear would have been likely encouraged by the church.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Corporate greed even then, like, bro, what the heck?
No, yeah, that's another thing I discovered with this trip to England is that, first of all, it's not fully Christian. There are a bunch of Catholics. Like, a lot of the churches are Catholic over there, which is different than what I learned in school. You think England and you think Christian, but it makes sense that it's Roman because, Catholic because of the Roman influence.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Catholic Church's plan.
Right.
And their a conspiracy. Oh my God. They're one world.
What?
They're one world government that they're trying to I'm not shitting. I'm not trying to shit on the Catholic, religion.
You are Catholic.
I am Catholic. I just, Let me have my conspiracy theories too.
That's all she has in life, okay, people?
It's all I have to look forward to.
So, adding to the superstition in medieval times, any animal with dark feathers or fur, like crows and ravens, were said to signal death.
Crows are so cute.
I love them.
I love them. They're so adorable. Much. We got so close to a lot of them.
Yeah, and they're big over there. Every little animal like that is chunky and big over there.
Huge.
We love them though.
Even the black squirrels.
The black squirrels.
They're not black squirrels. It's because we were talking about black animals.
Oh yeah. So in the 16th century, Italy, it was believed that death was imminent if a black cat laid on someone's sick bed. If a black cat is spotted at a funeral, then another family member is sure to die. And of course, as we know, it's bad luck for a black cat to cross your path. But also, even if a black cat walks away from you, that's also bad luck.
What? So just don't see a black cat.
Yeah, just okay. if they're done with you and they get bored and they walk away, then you're screwed. So black cats aren't considered bad luck everywhere, though. In ancient Egypt, black cats held the highest respect because they resembled Bastet, the cat-headed Egyptian goddess of home, fertility, and protection from disease.
Which is why I'm sure you see little statues and little painting, what are they called? Hieroglyphics of black cats.
In Asia and the UK, you'll be lucky if you own a black cat. If you spot a black cat in Japan, you will have luck finding love. In Europe, sailors will have a safe journey if they bring along a black cat on the trip.
Also for rodents.
What?
Also for rodents.
Yeah.
Because rats on boats was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
From the boxes of things they would ship and transport. That makes
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
In Scotland, you will have prosperity if a black cat appears at your doorway or on your front porch.
At the Great Scotland.
In France, something magical is about to happen if you see a black cat. And in parts of England, a bride will have luck in her marriage if she receives a black cat as a gift.
That's so cute.
So you might need to get me another one, baby.
Hey, I said, what if we get a kitty? Another kitty.
But yeah, those are...
And in our home, a black cat means...
I'm saying my final sentence.
Sorry.
But yeah, those are the superstitions of the black cat.
Oh, that's so cute. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I think it was supposed to be spooky, but...
Kind of, but just fitting. Black cat, spooky, Halloween. We have so many black cat... We have 3 black cat decorations on our front porch alone right now for Halloween.
Yeah, and it was funny too, because when one of our tours in Edinburgh, we did I had to do the whiskey experience.
That was the first thing we did when we got there.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, babe, there it is.
I made her get some food in her stomach first, and then that was the first thing we did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I saw the biggest collection of whiskey.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I loved it. But around the whiskey experience building, they had little Easter eggs of black cat silhouettes around because...
An homage
of the history.
Because in whiskey distilleries, it was common to have rodents around, so they would just keep cats there, like they do at Disneyland to keep it under control, basically. So there was just little cat silhouettes on the walls everywhere.
It was so very cute. Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome, babe.
Thank you.
Good choice.
Our first Halloween episode ever. I'm sorry it wasn't super long and intense and scary, but we literally just got back from the UK last night.
Yes.
And I had today to do this, and we had to record today, so...
Yeah, because we have a busy week ahead of us. Yeah. And I'm
going to have some late shifts. Her birthday's on Tuesday, so... Yeah, this was the time we had, and I still think it was a cool topic.
It was a cool topic.
It was fun to learn, all the little histories and how people were stupid back then.
Yeah.
They'll believe anything.
Yeah, honestly. Because, we were also we were talking about this really quickly. I don't want to take up too much time at the end of this. But you remember how we were talking about how weird medical advancement is. You go back 100 years and everyone was, stupid about medicine.
Yeah, there was one story on our tour where there was this guy and they didn't know if he was, still alive or not at the hospital. So they cut a slit in his arm and like to see the blood like pump out, and they're like, all right, his blood's still pumping, he's alive. And I'm like, because they didn't have stethoscopes, that's why.
Right.
And I'm like, did they not know about pulses? Like, they couldn't put their fingers on the guy's neck, like, or on his wrist?
Like, they had to cut him open?
But then they built these, like, magnificent cathedrals.
Yes.
Like, with what equipment? I don't understand.
Yeah, honestly. And we were like, what the heck? Like, were we really that stupid 200 years ago? Like...
I don't get it.
That's so weird.
It doesn't add up. And that's why it's another reason why I think aliens are real, man. Like, they've got it. That's the only way that all these, like, advanced things happened back in the day, and we were this stupid about other stuff.
Because also another thing is, and I realized this again because I feel like I knew about it, and, like, how short of a time span it's been since Edison was alive. Because Edison was alive during the Second World War, I believe.
Crazy.
And that's not even 100 years ago. And it's like, and you know, we have Edison's theory of freaking something about space and stuff, you know? And it's like, okay, so you're telling me that we just barely figured this out not even 100 years ago?
Yeah, for real.
Like, but still, we have these magnificent buildings, and it's so weird. It's
so interesting.
Like, so how young are we really? How young is the human species? Like,
I can't let her get going again, you guys.
Yeah, dude. All of this does not make sense to me, and it's like, also, I know I also mentioned this book last podcast on my second Marbles Take Over episode, where I keep saying the UN, the United Nations. It's not the United Nations. It's UNESCO. It's like they have the historical records of the whole world since the beginning of our history, human history. And it's like, okay, how do they even have those records too? Right? Like, it must have not been that long ago then. If we still have that record.
Think about it. Like, what is it? I think, like, to put this into perspective, humans, I know, beings, it's crazy. Humans are closer in time to a certain kind of dinosaur than that dinosaur is to another dinosaur.
I can't.
Like, how?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, technically speaking, the shark is still, like, considered like a dinosaur, technically speaking. So
but I'm just like
walking amongst
putting
dinosaurs?
It into perspective of like how old is the oldest dinosaur species?
Yeah, no.
You know,
when you put it into frames of like 100,000, 150,000 years,
150 million.
Oh, yeah, exactly. 150 million years, like. And in this little time frame, you're telling me in this little blip of time, we're destroying our Earth?
But then also, like, how do we know? Who figured it out? It was 150 million years.
No, but I'm telling you, I think my anxiety is like very like self-inflicted because I think about these things, and literally I can be eating dinner with Alyssa, and then I'm just blanking out, and I'm like thinking like, this is so fucking weird. Why are we doing this?
Oh, yeah. Like, she freaks out all the time about just the concept of us going to a restaurant and putting in our name, and everyone is just like waiting there in the foyer, and we're all just lined up to go be fed food and then go home. And she thinks it's like the craziest system we've created. Yes. She's brought it up to me. Like, I'll look over and I'm like, you good? And she's like, yeah, I'm just disassociated, having an existential crisis, and I know what it's about because we're at dinner.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing to me when I put things in perspective like that. I'm like, we literally used to hunt our own food, and now we're in line. We're in line to get a piece of steak. Like, it's so awkward to me. Like,
babe, what the heck? I love you so much. All right, we need to cut this thing off. We need to go get some dinner. Let's go get in line for our food delivery.
Dude, no. Oh, no.
And thank you guys all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed our very first Halloween episode.
That was a good one.
So I picked this one. Next episode, we are finally going to get back into me doing your guys' suggestions, because that's what this is all about. I'm so excited for you guys to hear these stories you've been waiting to hear for like freaking 2 months. Thank you so much for being patient.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you guys.
We see you.
Keep sending them in. We can always use more suggestions. Because, I mean, I'm not planning on ending this thing anytime soon, so we're going to need suggestions for forever.
Yeah,
so.
And
where can they send those to?
You can send them over to us using the inner web collection system that is emails. Where you can send mail electronically.
This is why I said you need to catch up on your sleep, babe. She was up at like 5 a.m. on her phone. I was like, what the heck? We just traveled internationally. Please go to sleep.
You can send them in a little megabyte, a couple megabytes, to whatsyourfavoritescarystory@gmail.com. Or you can send them to
What's Your Favorite Scary Story on Instagram. You can go ahead and DM us there or comment on any of our posts or anything. Send us your suggestions. Send us your personal stories. Even if they don't have to do with your suggestion. We want everything. We want it all.
Yeah, I love it when we get suggestions and don't be shy. Don't be shy to comment or... Because you guys do talk to us, and I appreciate it, and it's awesome. And I love hearing Alyssa tell me that someone reached out to us, and I love hearing it.
Yeah, so keep doing it.
But I also love seeing it. So let's, don't be afraid to comment on.
Yeah, interact with us, you guys. That's what we're posting for. But yeah, we love you guys, and we will be back next week with one of your suggestions.
It's good to be back on our regular.
Bullshit.
On a regular bullshit.
But until we talk to you guys next week, make sure that you stay spooky. You scared Arlo.
Bye.
Okay, bye.